Tokyo Revengers is my favorite rom-com when things don't explode or kill characters. Cute as shit to then completely heartbreaking. I was really interested to see what they're going to do in order to keep the plot going forward. My thought process was one of two things. Either A, something like the end of the episode, like she would still end up getting killed, or B, which is what I was leaning on more if I'm being honest, someone else would end up in a horrible situation, rather than maybe Hina getting killed by a car crash or an explosion, a different set of characters, and it would show Takemichi that even though he changed one life, there's still going to be a lot more casualties should he not fix the past, which then would create a better future. So to see pretty much what I feel like the original poster image for Tokyo Revengers indicated, just fiery Takemichi, emotional, in pain, distraught, seeing how this girl, even years later after being broke up by Takemichi because Takemichi dumped her, she still always loved him. This is going to be a very hard road for him, and I got that type of feeling that I got when you have those moments like in Steins Gate Re:Zero where the character realizes that no matter how bad it gets, I have to keep pushing on, and honestly, I believe the man. When he says he's going to be the leader of the gang, I feel like he's eventually going to reach it. Not in the next 12 episodes, not in probably season 2, or even probably what a season 3 would give us, but by the end of the manga, most likely. It's definitely going to be a hard road, and I think it'll be interesting to see how often he will jump forward and backwards in time, because he's probably going to need more information, but the fact that seemingly things were okay, we had Best Boy return, he's like, hey, you were going to be my first client, it's going to cut your hair. Turns out no matter what changes, even if he survives a bit longer, the same thing occurs time and time again. It definitely is feeling to me like someone else has either the ability to jump forward backwards in time, or knows of Takemichi's ability, which is why that man was like, oh, I wanted to take both of you out. But still, this was a painful episode, and in a weird way, I actually think had this not been a confirmed 2-core, so next week, more Tokyo Revengers, we get another 12 episodes, I actually think this would have been a satisfying finale in terms of, like, needing to wait for more episodes. Like, sure, it's explosive and deadly, but I think you get that inspiring message that it's not a Takemichi who's gonna just fall over and die. He's a Takemichi with a goal, and that goal is going to carry him forward no matter how much pain he has to experience. Tokyo Revengers has been, I think, one of this past season's standout series. I'm really glad to see how popular the manga is, which basically says to me, because of how much material is out there, that there really isn't that much of a risk of not getting a season 2, because a lot of times, you know, you make a big show, gets really popular, and then it propels the manga. The manga's already, like, insanely popular. It's, like, in the top 5 of, like, best-selling series right now, I believe. So it's not a matter of like they need more and more readers, so I feel like a season 2, maybe even a season 3 is almost but guaranteed. I guess we'll see, obviously, but I'm really glad because while I'm sure maybe not every single arc will be able to live up to the quality that has already been laid out, I see so much more potential in where Takemichi's character can go, and he's a character who expresses emotion, both positive and negative. I mean, the clumsiness, the ability of not knowing what to say, the pain of watching people die around you. I mean, he's an emotional character, but emotion isn't something to be shrugged off. I mean, that is human nature, and I think, honestly, even before his resolve of being leader, I think the guy has shown more balls than most anime characters. The amount of shit he's gone through over 12 weeks would break most people. Not even just the baseball bats and the kicks to the groin, like everything he's experienced physically is already horrible enough. But the emotional pain and kind of like the weight of the world on his shoulders, I mean, he went from being a deadbeat nobody in his life to now having the fate of people's lives in the palm of his hands. And should he make one wrong move, it's game over, because he can jump forward and backwards a certain amount of time, but if something in the past or the present happens incorrectly and he's past the day limit, I mean, there's no going back. Tokyo Revengers, I just think, has a lot of potential in its second core. I think the gang stuff is going to be even more interesting now that Takemichi has the resolve to not only keep, like, the relationship probably between Mikey and Draken alive and well, but also, hopefully, like, have him want to move up the hierarchy. I'm not sure if he'll ever be the type of character who will be, like, a macho buff man, but I think if he has the personality that I think he's going to have, which, I mean, Mikey was already impressed with the boy never wanting to back down. If he starts getting some authority, gets some people to listen to what he has to say, I mean, there's ways to compensate for a lack of maybe physical strength, and seriously, I think it'll be interesting to see how much of a badass Takemichi could become. It's not going to be an overnight transformation. It's not going to be a flip of the switch, but it's going to be fun to see both how he succeeds and fails in his dream of doing so. I really hope to see more conversations with Mikey. I mean, I think it was last week or the week before where Mikey's like, hey, who the hell are you? How is it that you knew something was going to happen to Draken before even Draken knew himself? I hope there's going to be more and more pieces like that will fall into place, that will have characters confront Takemichi about how much he knows and why he knows it, which could both be a very, very good thing and a very, very bad thing. Good in the sense that if people think he's a psychic, I mean, everyone's going to listen to him time and time again. But if they start questioning, oh, are you planting this to happen? Are you trying to make bad things happen so you can overtake us? We heard rumors you want to be the leader. That could also bite him in the ass. There's just so much to do, and I think the pain of the end of the episode, if it was like the last episode, while I think it would work as a final episode, it would be a lot more like, man, I really hope we get more anime. But I know we have 12 more episodes carrying on into the next season, right? So for me, while it's painful, I see a lot more optimism than just dread, if I'm being completely honest. And I think a big factor of that was the cuteness that was like the first 3/4 of this episode, the rom-com shenanigans, and just seeing that this girl was, you know, actually heartbroken. I was surprised to see her wear the necklace because I assumed she broke up with him because Autopilot Takemichi isn't the smoothest of sailors. But the fact that she was dumped, it makes sense why she held on to that for so long, because that was her first and probably last love. She couldn't move on, she just really wanted him back and thought that would never happen. Had it been a reverse where she dumped him and still wore the necklace, I think that would have been a little more weird, so I like the direction they took with it. And seriously, I mean, the sky's the limit for Tokyo Revengers, which has pretty much been my thought process every week. 9 out of 10 times if I'm being honest. I saw a lot of buzz around this episode before watching it. I did have plans to review it yesterday, but just, you know, I got caught up, I was a little tired and things like that. I had no idea what happened. I assumed something explosive, I just didn't think an actual explosion. I thought maybe like a secret was exposed, maybe Hina was like revealed on the secret, but I was like, well, how would they actually do that? So honestly, I mean, I'm surprised I wasn't like even slightly spoiled. I just saw a lot of buzz being like, oh my god, that was a crazy episode of Revengers. So by the time I got like, I think it was around the 3/4 mark where you bump into the dude when he was leaving the washroom, I was really confused. I was like, man, people really like rom-coms now, which I'm a big rom-com fan. It's one of my favorite anime genres. So I thought maybe just the community changed. And lo and behold, no, we can change everything in a matter of seconds with that end of the episode, and I felt a little foolish, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh man, people are starting to like embrace the cute shit in anime now, in terms of like because this is like a shonen show, right? So I thought maybe just, you know, the general fan base, so this was just really into the relationship brewing. Nope, they had to do some brutal death, and I was honestly shocked of how brutal it was, from face on the wheel, stomach ripped apart, and I have to say probably my favorite point in this anime so far out of 12 episodes is our boy hugging her, saying, in the past, in the future, across all time, I will always love you. Like, that was some sweet ass shit, and it'll be interesting to see what happens next week and in the second core, but let me know your thoughts and feelings, and definitely your theories down below. Did it shock you like it did for me? Because it definitely blew me the hell away. No pun intended. Let me know down below, drop a like to help promote the video, and subscribe if you're new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.